Hello, I just want to show you in a few quick moments how to access the aspect of KnowledgePath that allows you to see what KnowledgePath looks like as a student. So I am going to be sending you a very unique username and password that will allow you to access this platform. So you're going to need to have that before you go in. You're going to click on it, open it in a new window, and here is where you're going to need to enter the credentials that are given to you. Not your BayPath information, the very distinct username and password that will allow you into this system. Hold on one moment and I'll enter mine. Okay, the very first thing you see is this. All this tells you is that you have a course. So how do you actually access some of the information that's in here? Click on this. So for this particular one, it's going to bump you into the English. If that's what you want to do to see, that's fine. But if not, there's a few ways you can look at the other content. You can come here where it says it's divided into 6 assignments, and this may not be exact. We will be consolidating this quiz here, and that's going to be your Module 3 quiz. But the examples that I'd like you to have the opportunity to go through are these. The English Pre-Writing Skills 1. Philosophy. So this is a humanities course. Psychology 101. Or Introduction to Biological Molecules. Sorry, I have Canvas in the brain. So you will, again, come in here to do your quiz. At this moment, it's not properly connected, so you won't see that. But you should see 5 assignments. So let me show you how we got here again. You can use the back button. As soon as you come in after entering the credentials, you see this. If you come here, you click and you'll see all the assignments. Okay? Now that you're here, let's say you want to look at several of them. Again, hold off on the quiz. That's for the Module 3 experience. So these are called Week 1. Some of these are coming from other courses that we are teaching, such as English 124, Psych 101, Biology 109, and Humanities 110, I believe. So come in here, and now you see exactly what our students see. Now this particular learning path assignment is pretty short, and it only has 2 activities, but this is exactly what your students will see. So it says, your learning path for this assignment contains 2 activities. What to do first, so that if your students are saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, it actually tells you what to do. It tells you you should go through and do determine knowledge. That's right here. If a student were to skip this and go to viewing their learning path, it shows what the nodes are that are available to them. But that's not what we want them to do. We want them to go through determine knowledge. That allows them to move forward on material that they already know. Now for you, you'll also see that this example has a locked node. So if you have students saying, I have a locked node, well, that's because there's a prerequisite that needs to be satisfied before this becomes unlocked. So they need to learn the first node before the node unlocks for subsequent material. And in many of our courses, there are many prerequisites to content. So always, the best suggestion is to follow what the system prompts you to do, which in this case is doing determine knowledge. And that's going to be the same with you as well. So let's go back and take a look at some of the other content. So philosophy. Now you're going to see a few different things. You see it says mastery and it's showing nothing. As you go through it, you will see that you will have a score which can go anywhere from red, which is emerging, to mastery, which is a dark green. It says progress, 0 of 6. Now remember we showed earlier that that's activities, so you have done 0 out of 6 activities, and then there's the button of activities as well. And this lets you know what is in that particular node. So let's close this. Come to what is philosophy. So remember, I'm just clicking on that upper header, we'll call it, that will allow us to come into it. Again, we see that there are 6 activities. Now remember, our other had 2. if you look, you will see that there are several locked activities. We need to go through the prerequisite knowledge before we can move forward. How do you do that? What do you do first? You do determine knowledge. It is possible you might get everything all green. That's the way KnowledgePath is designed to work. It moves you forward on the knowledge you are already competent in, and it allows you to focus on the things that you need more time with. So again, we would recommend to do determined knowledge, and then you're going to be exposed to some of the content. That's going to be the way with each one of these sample assignments. Now psychology. We have 14 activities. So let's take a look at that. Remember I talked about having a lot of prerequisites? So take a look at this. And look at how things are interlocked. So again, if a student says to you, I don't know why, there must be a problem, the nodes are locked. They certainly are, because there are 3 nodes in the early stages that must be done first before subsequent material unlocks. So in this case, early roots of psychology and defining psychology are required before current issues and debates in psychology open up. With this, there's multiple redundancies to one particular node. So the different paths getting through psychology and the scientific method could open up all these subsequent areas once it's opened, once you've gone through, once you've learned, or once you've demonstrated your knowledge through determined knowledge. So again, get a feel for this. Feel free to go through more than one. We are requiring that you go through at least one, and we'll also require the quiz when that's ready. So you'll be asked to go through one of these pre-writing, what is psychology, what is philosophy, psychology, introduction and researching psychology, or introduction to biological molecules. We want you to go through fully one, getting a score of 75% or greater. That's going to be required. Finally, let's look at biology. Again, it shows how many activities. The first step is determined knowledge, and here's your learning path. So you can always see that. Again, always start with what it's suggesting, which is determined knowledge. You do, as our students do, have the ability to click on any of the opened activities first to go through. You're welcome to do it in one where you go through determined knowledge, and maybe in the next you want to hit and go right into the map. That's okay. It's certainly a good experience for you. One other thing you can see, remember we talked about locked. This is available. So you see this is available. These are locked. Beginner is just a singular dot, which means they've scored from 0 to 40%. Improving, which means they've scored from 40 to 55%. Competent, which means from 55 to 70. Expert, which indicates from 70 to 90. And master, 90 to 100. For you, we're going to be looking for a score of 75. So the nodes for your activities that you choose must be at this expert level and with a total cumulative score in this assignment of 75 or greater. So I hope this helps with understanding how to go through this, how to see it as a student does, and actually get to touch the content as our students will, because you may come up with some great questions that can help us in helping you serve our students better. I thank you very much for your time, and I hope this helps. Have fun with the Knowledge Path.